Hey, Keegan here from the Neve Engineering blog. Another update on my unnamed PiWars robot. I've been busy. I can't actually remember what I said in the last video. I think it was as far back as this one. So, this was the first version of the robot chassis. I completely messed up when I measured these out. So what I ended up doing was snapping these off, screwing them to the motors, the motor enclosure, and basically cutting them and hot gluing the crap out of them until they were at the right height. I then made a reference mark along the bottom and measured it up, from which I could make a more accurate design. Which leads me to this. So, yeah, I think I got a bit carried away. But basically, this worked for the most part, with the exception of here. For some reason, I measured these uprights to be about 8 or 9 mil too short. Luckily, it's the height of a standoff. So I just screwed one of those in, job done. So we have the motors mounted quite happily at the back. I then took delivery of 4 of these. They're basically, one of these holds 3 18650 lithium ion cells. So 3 in series, you get 12 point something volts nominal, and I have 4 of them in parallel. Well, I have 4 of them sat parallel in a box at the minute. Currently I've actually only got 6 cells. I'm hoping to come into possession of a stack of old laptop batteries shortly, so I'll be scavenging the hell out of those. But for testing, if nothing else, I can use the 12 volt power supply that I've been using for the Roomba. So yeah, that's that really. I also ordered a bunch of these off Amazon. These are, I think they're like 7 to 30 volt input, variable output power regulators. I'm not sure if they're buck converters or boost converters. I can never quite remember which one's which. They might be a combination of both, but they're capable of handling 3 amps out at 5 volts. So the idea is I'm going to have 2 5 volt power buses. It's probably overkill. I've no idea because I've never really done something on this scale before, but if nothing else, it means that the Raspberry Pi can have its own power bus, and the servo shield can have another. That means that the Arduino will be powered via the Raspberry Pi, so there'll be plenty of power there. If the servos end up having to carry a lot of weight or something like that, considering that the only thing that we'll need to actually carry weighs about 42 grams or something stupid like that, I just don't know how much power these servos will use, especially seeing as I don't actually know which servos I'll be using yet. The other thing is I like the idea of having a few tricks where maybe the robot can push down to help it get over obstacles and things like that. I don't know. But I had these laying around, and well, that's already taller than that anyway, so I figured I'd just stack a pair up. What else is there? Yeah, like I said, everything is kind of hooked into place. Oh yeah, there's the Adafruit Feather M0 there, with the motor shield soldered up and installed. That motor shield can actually take up to 13.5 volts, which is actually higher than the fully charged 3S setup. So I don't need a regulator for that, and it'll just power these motors. Now, these motors were originally running at 7 volts. Worst case scenario, I can just add another power regulator around here. I've got the room, and I can tweak that for around 7 volts. So yeah, 12 volts is double the voltage, isn't it? I'll have to have a look at how H-bridges work. I don't know if they pulse the motor, so it might be effectively a lower voltage, at which point I'll not be running as much current through either. Anyway, but we'll figure this out. And yeah, worst case scenario, I do still have a backup. So I don't want to break this, because ideally, if this breaks, well, that would suck. But I like the idea that, yeah, I am building a prototype of this, but then I'll have a second one, so I could actually make two of them and maybe have them interact and cooperate to perform certain tasks. Mostly it's just for the hell of it. So yeah, what's next? Next up is all of the soldering. So for one thing, I need some kind of power switch. I have something lying around. I've got a switch from... I've got a bunch of switches. I think one of them's self-illuminated, big, cool toggle switch, and I'll be able to use that or something else. I don't know. It's a switch. It's not that important. So these will need to be combined together into a switch. They'll be in parallel, so that'll be nice and easy to wire up. There'll then need to be a feed from the batteries after the switch to the inputs of these power regulators. The outputs of those, one will... Oh, okay, just realised something. So the servo hat on the Raspberry Pi takes 5 volts in, which has a regulator that also powers the Raspberry Pi, which means that the 3 amp bus that will power in the Pi will also be powering the thing. In that case, yeah, one of these will be 5 volts, the other one's 7 volts. Look, how agile is that? Good blue sky thinking. But yeah, that's where we're at the minute. This is coming together a lot quicker than I thought, which I'm really happy about, because if anyone else has been following my projects, I've got a habit of, yeah, not really having this sort of momentum. So this is a good sign. I'm liking this. So yeah, stay tuned for more updates. I'm hoping that as I've already got the code working on my Roomba, that I'll be able to get this at least driving around by the end of the week. That would be awesome. That really would be awesome. There's already a few design tweaks I want to make. So, for one thing, I want the battery holder to be integrated. It's really quite chunky at the minute, and it's flared out at the bottom. I'm not sure you can see that. It's just got a chamfer on there. I figured if it's because I was hot gluing this down, by increasing the footprint a little bit more, the glue would take a bit better. That means I can bring that in if it's all part of the same chassis, so that'll save a bit of space on the footprint, because the Arduino's quite far over at the minute, so it'll only be a few millimeters, but considering the size limitations, it'll all help. The other things are some kind of mount. So I'll need a mount of some kind for a bumper, basically, for the ultrasonic sensors. No idea where the ones at the side will go. And yeah, basically I just need to figure out how tall it's going to be and all the rest, because obviously there's the torso to go on top yet. There's a bit of fluff on my camera. There's the torso to go on yet, and all of the arms, the head. So yeah, it's still going to be quite tall, so there is still a lot to do, but this is, I mean, this is a few, yeah, I mean, this is already quite close. I mean, a lot of the PiWars challenges, you know, there's the line following one, which a couple of sensors on the bottom, relatively easy. There's the maze, which, you know, if I do a remote control, this can go around there. But there's already quite a lot of the challenges that this is close to being able to do, so that's promising. But yeah, not stopping there. So, stay tuned for more, and yeah, let's see where we go. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, obey, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta for now.